All right, let's talk about the union budget for 2026. The finance minister has just rolled out a plan that's being called a game changer, all built around this big vision of a developed India. But what does that actually mean for you and me? Are we talking more money in your bank account? Better job opportunities? Let's cut through all the jargon and get straight to what this budget really means for your wallet.
Okay, let's just get right to the biggest question on everyone's mind. You've probably heard the rumors, right? This idea that if you earn up to 12 lakh rupees a year, you won't pay a single rupee in income tax. I mean, it sounds almost too good to be true. So is it?
Well, you might want to sit down for this, because for a huge number of people, the answer is a resounding yes. And no, this isn't some kind of clickbait. It's a real, fundamental change to how taxes work in India. So, you're probably wondering, how is that even possible? Let's dive in and see exactly how they're making this happen.
First things first, we've got to talk about the thing that impacts us all directly, our money. This budget is kicking off what feels like a revolution for the Indian taxpayer, and it all starts by getting rid of the old, complicated system and building something brand new.
So here's the headline. That super complex Income Tax Act from 1961? Yeah, that's gone. After 64 years, they're finally replacing that maze of rules with the new Income Tax Act of 2025. The whole point is to make filing your taxes way simpler and less of a headache. And this all kicks in on April 1st, 2026. Now take a look at these new tax slabs. Up to 4 lakh, you pay nothing. From 4 to 8 lakh, it's 5%. And from 8 to 12 lakh, it's 10%. Now you're probably thinking, wait a minute, that doesn't add up to zero tax? And you're absolutely right. But here's the clever part. There's something called a rebate under Section 87A. Think of it like a special government voucher that completely cancels out your tax bill if your income is up to 12 lakh. So even though you technically calculate a tax amount, this rebate just swoops in and makes it zero. Just like that.
And it gets even better. On top of all that, the government is giving salaried employees another big boost. The standard deduction, which is basically a flat amount you get to subtract from your taxable income, is jumping from 75,000 rupees to a massive 1 lakh. That's more money straight back into your pocket, plain and simple.
So, with a bit more cash in our pockets, we're all more likely to go out and spend, right? That's exactly what the government is hoping for. That extra spending is meant to power a much larger plan for the country's future, the Viksit Bharat vision, which basically means a developed India. Let's look at how they're planning to build that tomorrow.
And when we talk about building, we are talking about some truly staggering numbers. Try to wrap your head around this. 12.2 lakh crore rupees. That's the record amount being poured into capital expenditure, which is just a fancy way of saying building stuff. We're not just talking about fixing a few roads here. This is a massive investment in the core infrastructure that a modern India will run on.
So, where's all that cash going? Well, get ready for a serious upgrade across the country. We're talking 7 new high-speed rail corridors, including that long-awaited Mumbai-Pune link. There's a new freight corridor to move goods from east to west at incredible speeds, a big push to boost shipping along our coasts, a really ambitious mission for 100 gigawatts of nuclear energy, and, connecting everyone, a plan for high-speed internet in every single rural school and health center. This is some serious nation building.
But it's not all about concrete and railways. This budget is also about making some really smart strategic bets on the future. The government is looking way down the road, investing in the kind of high-tech industries that are going to power India's economy for decades to come.
And these are not small bets. Look at this. A massive 40,000 crore rupees to turn India into a global hub for semiconductors. The chips that run everything. Another 10,000 crore for Biopharma Shakti, a mission to make sure India can develop and produce its own advanced medicines. And 20,000 crore for carbon capture technology, which is absolutely critical for fighting climate change. This is all about securing India's future.
Now, here's a really cool one you might not have expected. The budget is making a big push for what they're calling the orange economy. That's the creative sector. We're talking gaming, animation, comics, digital art. The government sees massive potential here, and they're setting a huge goal to create 2 million new jobs in these creative fields by 2030. So get ready to see a lot more Indian creativity on the world stage.
Okay, we've covered the big picture stuff and the future tech, but let's bring it back to today. Let's get down to the brass tacks. When you go to the store or pay your bills, what's actually going to get cheaper and what's going to get a little more expensive? All right, here's the final rundown. On the cheaper side, which is the good news, crucial cancer medicines and inputs for seafood are going to cost less. Plus, mobile phones and EV batteries are also getting more affordable. Now for the other side of the coin. Trading on the stock market is going to get a bit more expensive. No surprise here. Cigarettes are going up in price. And this is a big one. If you misreport your income, the penalty is now 100%. Ouch. And finally, some non-essential imported goods will also see a price hike.
So, what's the philosophy tying all of this together? Well, the finance minister put it simply. She said the focus is on 4 pillars of society: the poor, women, the youth, and farmers. The whole idea is that if you strengthen these 4 groups and lift them up, you lift up the entire country along with them. It's a vision for growth that's meant to start from the ground up.
And that brings us to the ultimate question. What we're seeing here is a huge bet on a 2-part strategy: put more money in the hands of the middle class to boost spending, and at the same time pour record-breaking sums into building the infrastructure and industries of the future. So is this the master plan? Is this the blueprint that finally pushes India into that league of developed nations? It's a bold, ambitious vision, and only time will tell if this gamble pays off.